Hello and welcome to our ENSEMBLE webcast. My name is Courtney Hughes, Senior Manager, Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives for the Mining Industry Human Resources Council. On behalf of MiHR and the entire ENSEMBLE network, welcome to our webcast. We'll begin in just a couple of minutes. Before we launch the webinar, I wanted to take a minute to walk everyone through the platform. In the corner of your screen, you will find a drop-down box, gray boxes, and the very last box you will see says chat. We're going to use that chat box today for any comments or questions through the presentation. You can write in there at any time. We will save all the questions for the very end of the session. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please invite your colleagues and contacts to join the ENSEMBLE network. ENSEMBLE is a free-to-join diversity and inclusion network where members receive alerts for future webinars as well as updates on exciting industry events, diversity discussions, and tools and resources to support inclusion within mining workplaces. We'll just wait another moment here and I'll do the formal introduction in a second.
Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to our ENSEMBLE network webcast. Thank you to all our listeners who have tuned in today. My name is Courtney Hughes, Senior Manager, Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives for the Mining Industry Human Resources Council. As many of you may know, MiHR established its mandate to identify opportunity and ultimately address the HR and labor market challenges in the Canadian minerals and metals sector. The Canadian mining industry faces a significant challenge in establishing a sustainable supply of labor that is able to withstand mining's economic volatility. MiHR, through its labor market intelligence and HR research, has identified a number of factors exacerbating this challenge. Canada's aging population continues to have a significant impact, and diverse groups such as women and newcomers to Canada continue to be underrepresented in the mining labor force. While the mining sector remains a private sector leader in Indigenous hiring, the mining sector is underperforming in its hiring of Indigenous workers in professional physical sciences, human resources, and financial occupations. Improving diversity within the Canadian mining workforce will involve a combination of collaborative solutions, from encouraging young girls to pursue math and science studies, building gender-inclusive awareness of the industry, evaluating current policies and procedures to remove bias, to appointing more women, immigrants, and Indigenous peoples into senior leadership and board positions. As part of these collaborative solutions, we are so pleased today to have a very special guest speaker, Nathalie Belanger, Human Resources Counselor with Agnico Eagle Mines Limited. Nathalie has over 7 years of talent acquisition experience in the mining sector. And Nathalie will be sharing with us Agnico's experience with MiHR's virtual career fair platform and how it was used, how the platform was used to connect with a diverse group of potential hires. I will now turn it over to you, Nathalie. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Courtney. You can hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Thank you, Courtney and the MiHR organization for having me today for this meeting. Like Courtney said, I've been with Agnico Eagle since 2011. And for your information, I am based out in Val-d'Or, a northern community in Quebec. And it's the heart of Agnico Eagle. It's in my region. So it's my pleasure to be with you today. You will understand my accent. I'm from Quebec, so even though I went to English school, I could not get rid of my accent, so bear with me on that. So first of all, before we start going into with the virtual career fair, I just want to give you a bit of insight about who is Agnico Eagle and why did we go with the virtual career fair. So as you can see on this slide, Agnico Eagle is now a worldwide company. The heart of the company started in northern Quebec, where we have 4 mines. Then we expanded out in Finland, in Mexico, and now in Nunavut in northern Canada. We have offices, administrative offices in Toronto. That's where our corporate office is. And then we have offices in the US, in Vancouver, and in L'Abitibi, also in Quebec, to support all of our operations. As you can see, they are pretty well scattered in the country. So the key points for Agnico Eagle is we're a gold mining company, and we've been producing gold since 2000. We've been in the precious metals since 1957. It started out in cobalt in northern Ontario, and then it moved to L'Abitibi-Témiscamingue, where we started concentrating on gold. Last year, we produced 1.7 million ounces of gold, which ranks us now the ninth largest gold producer in the world. So we're very excited about that. Latest stats is we employ 9,200 people. Those are permanent and contracted employees. The goal, the company 10 years ago, the company has set a goal to reach at one time 2 million ounces of gold. And with the new projects that I'm going to talk to you about today, we're going to be able to do that by 2020. In the Nunavut platform, we are currently building the new mine called Meliadine, and we are expanding the Meadowbank Mine, which I will talk to you briefly about. So just a brief overview of the Nunavut platform. Over 10 years ago, the company bought the Cumberland Project for the Meadowbank Mine, which is located by Baker Lake. And because it's a very mining-friendly jurisdiction, and it's very welcoming as well. So we've been there for 10 years now. We've had lots of experience. We have infrastructures that are there, which helps us to continue our growth in that region. What is very exceptional about this is we have 1.25 million acres of land, which is a huge playground for our exploration team and also for our operation to be able to meet the target. And also all the permits, because there are lots of permits that we need to go through in order to open those mines in Nunavut. We now have all of our permits, and we should be able to produce the gold as expected by 2020. So the Meadowbank Mine, roughly, we have over 1,000 employees that are there. The Meadowbank Mine was set to close this year, but with the start of the Amaruq project, we will be able to continue to use the infrastructures at Meadowbank, the process plant, the airstrip, the maintenance garage. So this will help us to bring at least an extra 6 years to the Meadowbank Mine. So Amaruq project is the territory that we have, and we are right now working on the Whaletail satellite pit. So we are currently 240 employees working there, and it's going to be a combination of an open pit and an underground operation, and we expect to have over 1,400 employees by 2022. The Meliadine mine is in construction. The construction should end in early 2019. We are currently over 375 employees, and we're looking by 2033 to have over 1,200 employees. The mine will start as an underground operation, and in the next couple of years, it will move to also an open pit. What is really amazing about this mine is we know that the mine life is 15 years. So that is very significant in the mining industry. So I just wanted, the next two slides are about the workforce planning, and it brings me to, you will understand the reasons why we need to do different attractions and different platforms of recruitment, like the virtual career fairs, because as you see on the screen, the numbers are pretty impressive. Last year in 2017, our recruitment team hired over 300 people. And that is for Nunavut only. And this year, we're looking at the numbers you see on the screen. They are separated. It's hourly employees and also salaried employees that we're looking for. So it's a big sprint right now that we're doing. And it's all internal employees that do the hiring. We do not contract our recruitment process. And these are pretty scary numbers to this year. I'm sure we're on track for the 400 over employees that we're gonna need, and then in the next 3 years, you see the numbers that we're gonna need, because Amaruq will be ramping up, and then we're gonna start opening the open pits at Meliadine. So we will need more employees to join our workforce in Nunavut. So having those numbers in hand, it was a great workforce planning from our team, from the corporate office to the HR teams of Meadowbank and Meliadine. It really helped us to focus on a recruitment strategy that we launched a few years ago on how we were going to attract so many people to work in an environment in Nunavut, which is, by the way, fly in, fly out. So the employees, they go work for 14 days on 12-hour shifts. So we first started with the traditional career fairs. So as you can see, that was the last year's all the different places that we've went. So we really, this year, we really focused on the trades. Because as you know, there's a shortage in welders, mechanics, miners. So we were more focused on these type of shows. They were regional, but they were also provincial, and we even went to Ontario to go and present ourselves. These type of shows are very interesting because you meet the people face to face, but at the same time they're very expensive. It's time consuming, and it requires lots of mobile manpower to go. So we would always be at least two. I speak as we because I am part of that team, and I've been to all these places you've seen on the screen. So it's we need to be very available to attend all of these places. Then you can see the different pictures, so you understand the logistics that goes with attending a traditional career fair. You need to move your promotional items. You need to move those all your tablecloth and everything. So it's a lot of preparation when you attend these type of career fairs. Following a mere job market analysis. We had the organization do for us a complete labor market analysis 2 years ago, which helped us target where the trades were. So we did a job advertisement mass posting. So we, following the recommendations from MiHR, we posted in 24 different newspapers in Quebec and the Maritimes. So that covered over 1 million copies, and with that we received 1,400 applications, which we were very, very happy about. But as you know, posting in newspapers is very expensive, and all reviewing the resumes for the 1,400 over resumes was took us a lot of time. Then we have a newspaper for our employees. So we have it's a bulletin that we have every quarter. So we had 2 pages on our recruitment strategy for our operations. So it was just to engage our employees, to share what we were looking for, to make sure that they were talking to their family members and friends. But it has low impact on the recruitment that we have, but at least we're engaging our employees to help us in recruiting candidates. Then a few months ago, we had emails and conversations with MiHR about the virtual career fair. So to us, the idea was very, very interesting because, as you can see, our mines are in Nunavut. I'm based out in Val-d'Or in northern Quebec. We also have another office in Mirabel outside Montreal, and our potential candidates, they come from all over Canada. So when we heard about the virtual career fair, we thought it was an amazing platform to reach out to all of those employees that live in smaller parts of our provinces, different provinces. So what was really great about this is that MiHR provided us with a really detailed information package, because you will see in the next slide, I will show you what it looks like when you have your booth online. So you have booth to choose from. You can put your own pictures. You really create what you want on your booth with the help of MiHR. On our side, it was a collaboration between our HR resources and the digital communication team in our corporate office that provided all of the information to MiHR. And we will show you a bit later. Then the information technology support from MiHR, they set up all the booth and they fine-tuned the appearance and the functionality of what it was gonna look like. There was a small training that was offered to all the participants before going live. It was a 2-day event, so we had a small training before that. And on our side, if I remember correctly, the time was it was from 9 in the morning until 7 p.m. That we needed to be available online. So we teamed up by pairs, so we were 2. We each had 3 hours to be online to answer to the candidates that were talking to us. So that was our way of how we wanted to do it. And with the two at the time on the website was we needed to be 2 because we had lots of people talking to us. So this is the view of what it looks like at the virtual booth. So it's really like you're going. The candidate experience is as if you're walking in a career fair. You can see the hall and an information desk, and then you can select to your left. You see the different companies that were there at the same time. They all chose a different booth to their taste and provided information on their booth. When you walked in our booth, it's the picture that's more at the bottom. That was our booth, and we had what was really great about our communications team is that they have put a lot of information available for candidates to look at before even writing to us online. So all the videos that we have, the corporate videos that we had, they were available on that site. All the different pamphlets that we have about our mines and our operations, they were also available for the candidates. So we had lots of people talking to us, but we also had many that just went and looked at the videos and all the papers that we had provided on the website with MiHR IT team. To the far right, you can see the chat rooms. So we had, you can see the numbers to the right. So our booth at that time, when we did the screenshot, we had 11 people talking to us. And then you can see the other mines and companies who was talking with them at that time. So for us, it was, we had from 10 to 12 people at the time talking with us. So that's the reason why I say being 2 at the time is really important. I think the reason of our success with this virtual career fair comes from with promoting the event. So again, with our digital communications team, we did some promotional posts on our LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook page. You can see an example to the far right. And we even did promotional posts directly with our regional Inuit communities, because being in Nunavut, we do work a lot with Inuits, and they are a lot online on Facebook. So we posted that to them so they could join us. So you can see the numbers, they are impressive. We've reached over 29,000 people on Facebook and 28,000 on LinkedIn. So I think that was really a really good idea from our team to promote the event. And also, like I said, we were 6 that were available throughout the day to answer to the fair. So the results, what was really interesting about the event is after the event is held, MiHR will provide with analytics. So we were one of the booths that were the most visited. So you can see the numbers. We had 372 visits, 222 unique visits, 264 clicks, and 103 of our documents were downloaded, and our videos were seen for 40 times. So to us, I think it was a really great statistics that we got of this, and also we were told that we were one of the busiest booths. So promoting the event beforehand, I think, really helped us, having so many people talk to us during those both days. So the benefits for us, and while I was thinking about this, is the benefits are as important to the recruiters or the company and to the candidate. So for both of us, the working with a virtual career fair is low cost. So I was in my office in Val-d'Or. My other colleagues were in their offices in Mirabel. So none of us had to travel somewhere. We didn't have to pay for hotels. We didn't have to pay hotels room, promotional items. We were just online. The cost of working with the virtual career fair was, if I remember correctly, $500, which is very reasonable. So that was something also that interested us, is the low cost of the activity. So no logistics, like I said, no traveling, no spending an extra night outside of your hometown because you need to go to a fair. It was really at your desk that you could do this. We were pretty busy, but at the same time, we could also work on some of our daily tasks while talking with the candidates that were working with us. Sometimes we would have a few minutes off, so you can always be also available for your daily task while answering those questions on the virtual career fair. The recruiters, we can work from anywhere, assuming that there's Wi-Fi connection. That's all we need. You need your laptop and you need Wi-Fi connection. I even did it in a restaurant because I was working on the road. I can tell you that it worked out very well. So that is really, really great because you can be anywhere and just be present and answering the candidates from anywhere that you want. The main thing for us is that it's accessible and it's easy to reach candidates in remote locations. Finding Inuits sometimes it's a bit more difficult. They have no roads in between their communities. They can only fly from their communities to another. So for us, it's a very effective way to reach out to them because we cannot always go meet them in their communities. So having that type of event was really good to connect with them. Also, finding the best mechanics and finding the best welders. They usually don't live in the Montreal area or in Toronto. They live in the smaller communities that are difficult to reach. So this made us accessible to all of these people that live away from the bigger towns. Also, what we think is that it's user friendly. It was really easy to use. It's modern and it's appealing to younger generations. My experience for the 2 days that I did did answer the questions, it was most of the people that I talked to, they were graduates or just about to graduate. So they had lots of questions about how to apply and what were the opportunities. So that was my experience. My colleagues too, they got some most of the candidates were graduates, and being virtual to these younger generations I think is the next way to reach out to them. So the virtual career fair is a very positive tool to attract them. Also, what was really great is all the analytics that was provided by MiHR after the event. So as you remember the slide that I showed you, there were more details if you wanted to, but I spared you all the details. So it really it can give you a weight on to decide if you want to go back to do the virtual career fair or not. So having some type of proof on the effectiveness of the virtual career fair is pretty good, is very appreciated. So maybe I talked too fast, or I'm not sure. So in conclusion, our experience was a great experience. We had a great support from the MiHR team. We attracted lots of traffics, and we did receive quality applications. For sure, in our tracking system, we don't have yet the tab that we can know if they applied because they met us on the virtual career fair, but we saw an increase of applications after those 2 days. So that's a number that we can think helped us with the career fair. My suggestion is having lots of contents and videos that are available for the candidate is really positive. It's something that they might have downloaded or that they will show to their families or their neighbors. So I encourage, if you do use the virtual career fair, I encourage you to give lots of time on providing that type of information. Like I said before, the candidates, they were more recent graduates. We did get more mature candidates, but I would say was more recent candidates. And there's still some information that we could not get, as was more where the candidates were from, but I'm pretty sure that if MiHR continues on working with the virtual career fair, that we in the future we will be able to get that. But overall, it was, like I said, it's very low cost, it's very easy to attend for the recruiters, and more people are relying on everything that's virtual, and I think it's something I want everybody to try at some point, is having that, but make sure that you do some promotion before you go online. MiHR does some promotion, but I think your own company should also do some promotion to make sure that everyone knows that you will be online. There will be a next virtual career fair the 18th and 19th of September, and of course we're taking part of it in the next week, so we're very excited about this. So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope this gave you a good idea on how the virtual career fair works.
Thank you so much, Nathalie. That was so informative and a really in-depth look at sort of your, not only Agnico's very interesting, recruitment strategy and sort of the background, but also how the virtual career fair played into that overarching strategy. I was fascinated to hear, especially, and something we've talked about a little bit before the presentation, is how you found that this was going to be a really effective tool in reaching Indigenous workers, especially those and individuals in remote communities. You also mentioned tradespeople working in smaller towns that may not have access to some of the traditional career fairs. And certainly from our perspective and with Ensemble, what a fantastic way to remove some of those barriers to employment for individuals within some of these diverse groups. And I can see that this has, kind of increasing potential to really remove some of those access barriers. So that was fascinating to hear specifically, your experience. Also, just kind of coming into it, I worked with MiHR on the very first virtual career fair that we had, I think over 6 years ago, and the sort of amazing leaps and bounds of the technology. As you mentioned, it's so easy to use now and much more kind of visual. I kind of, again, see the potential for this to grow. And of course, the analytics you mentioned. There's a couple of questions here that I would like to just sort of bounce back to you, Nathalie. One being, what sort of, with regards to the candidates being recent graduates, did you notice sort of a specific sort of type of graduate, like in a specific programs? I think is the question here.
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. I would say, as I will speak on the candidates that I have talked to, I would say it was mostly engineers. So everything related to engineering. I remember, because it's been a few months now, I remember like chemical and of course mine engineering, but those were the two main candidates that we got, but it was mostly engineering.
Great, thank you. And I have another question here for you, and it's, can you explain more about how using the virtual fair reached the Inuit population?
Yes, like I said, we for Agnico Eagle, we work with the Kivalliq region of Nunavut. So the Kivalliq region is 7 communities which we work with, and like I said, there's no roads in between them. So the only way to get to one community to another is by plane. And sometimes I took the plane and it's only 15 minutes, but you need to take the plane and it's very expensive. So the Inuit, even though their bandwidth is not as strong as we have, they are very much on everything that's internet. They order a lot. They're on Facebook all the time. So they're very, very, the younger ones, technology savvy. So for us, it was a no-brainer to do some very specific promotion on the virtual career fair to them, to make sure that they could get access to a recruiter and ask the questions that they want, because they are a very important part of our workforce. In Meadowbank right now, they are 34% of our labor are Inuit. So having having a recruiter available for 2 days for them, it was really good. I don't know if that answers the question.
I think it does. I don't have a further comment from the question asker. So thank you so much, Nathalie. That was a lot of really great information. I'm just going to take a brief moment now before we conclude to discuss the upcoming virtual career fair. So I will just, Nathalie, just so you know, I'm going to switch to my screen now.
Perfect.
And I just have one slide, and it's basically just the announcement to share with the group here. And certainly, please feel free to connect with me afterwards if you would like to discuss the virtual career fair at all or any opportunities surrounding it for your organizations. So just sort of a reminder, and as Nathalie had mentioned, we have an upcoming virtual career fair. It's happening on September 18th and 19th, and it's from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. So just sort of I guess sort of a general information here. If you would like to register for the career fair, you can reach us at mihr.vfairs.com, You're also welcome to contact me, chughes@mihr.ca, if you have some questions about sort of setting up a booth for your organization. As Nathalie has sort of showcased for us, certainly the career fair has sort of employers in mind, but it's also a great opportunity for those involved in associations as well as educational institutes. We have a few booths lined up so that it's not just for employers, a great sort of space to interact with potential candidates, contacts, clients, and even students for your programming. So please do get in touch if any of that sounds interesting to you, and we can sort of try it out together. Again, I want to thank everyone today for joining in and all of the insightful questions that were asked. Special thanks to Agnico and to Nathalie for sharing their very interesting story of using the virtual career fair, and certainly all of the information around their recruitment. It's through sharings like this that we all, can learn more from each other and collaborate to create some of the solutions around diversity that we've discussed. So we encourage everyone to please stay connected and invite your colleagues and contacts to Ensemble. A recording of today's webinar will be available on the Ensemble site within a few days, and I invite you to review the monthly blog post as well. That will sort of summarize some of the discussion. On behalf of MiHR, thank you so much for joining the Ensemble Network webinar. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.